Hello, and welcome along to the stream tonight. So, the plan of attack for tonight was there's kind of two large portions of work that I want to do on Cake.Recipe. Now, I've kind of come to the realization that one of them I won't be able to do just yet, and the other one I didn't necessarily want to do. So that's kind of where I am. I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place, really. A couple of things to let people know about to start with. So if you haven't already, I mentioned this on the last couple of streams, but I'll mention it again. If you haven't already signed up for Hacktoberfest, then you totally should, because you can potentially get a free t-shirt out of it. And if you haven't already signed up to the Circle CI kind of sideline project thing that's happening, you totally should, because you could potentially get another t-shirt. So I am currently at the point of I think I've done both, so I should be getting 2 t-shirts. So that's good. I'm currently sitting. I've got 1 day left, and then these 4 PRs should hopefully take me over the threshold for getting some t-shirts. That's good. And yeah, so Kim, the plan is to try and make up my mind what we're doing tonight. Yes. So the first one is the first thing I would like to do is I would like to completely remove. Oh, not completely remove. That's wrong. I want to change this static build parameters class into a class that can then be used within every task and setup and teardown. So rather than having a global instance, a global static instance, have a single instance that is shared across all the tasks. So if we need to get any build information, we can grab it from that single instance, rather than having a static class that we're referencing. So it just means that every task will have a shared type context, and we can get information. So rather than doing build parameters.send can send email, it would be the instance of the class passed into the method, and then get the parameters from there. Now, we and the global we has literally just done this on Cake itself. So if we go over here and we look at github.com/cake build/cake, there was a PR sent in by Matthias, and that PR did exactly what I've just described. So within Cake itself, we had the concept of a build parameters class, and that was, we created a single instance of that right at the start, and then referenced that parameters whenever we needed it. So Matthias went through and changed all of these to have set up build parameters, and changed all the task overloads to use that. So it's just a kind of a cleaner way of doing it. Now, on Cake itself, that was fine, right? Now, in Cake.Recipe, it's a little bit trickier. So in Cake.Recipe, we have the concept of this recipe.cake file. And then here we have an instance, or here we're using the global static class to call this print parameters and set parameters methods. Now, if we do what I just described, we won't directly have access to this thing anymore. So I'm not 100% sure how I would do this yet. So you need to come back on that one. So evening, Brett. Welcome to the stream. I'm not sure if I said evening, Kim. Evening, Kim. So I think I'm going to leave that one until I ponder it a little bit longer. And instead, what I'm going to have a look at doing is this one here, which is this removing reference to myget. But the first thing I noticed is that these issues haven't been closed off. So these issues had a PR associated with them, but I didn't tidy up the issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and close these out so that we can knock the number of issues down a little bit. So we can close this one too, because the PR associated with it has merged. And the one that we get to is this remove reference to myget. Hey, there's Arthur as well. Arthur. I can never decide how I want to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry. Option 1, Artur. Option 2, Arthur. Which one do you go by? I would love to know so I can try and remember it. It's either one or it could be 3. It could be a so it's Arthur. Ah, right, okay, perfect. Good to know. I will try and remember that. So what are we breaking tonight? We're breaking Cake.Recipe. I mean it's kind of par for the course at the minute. This is kind of what I'm hacking on at the minute. So where we got to on Friday's stream was we had a working version of Cake.Recipe running in Azure DevOps. So in the same way that we can compile and build and deploy from AppVeyor, you should in theory now be able to do that with Azure DevOps as well. Now, one thing I would like to do, let's maybe create an issue about this while I remember. I want to create a new issue, which is create Team City build provider to allow running of Cake.Recipe, including full deployments on Team City. So I'm going to add this to the milestone there, and I'm going to say this is going to be a feature. Beautiful. Indeed, the theory thing. So, the one I'm going to do is this one. This is the one I'm going to start hacking on. So this is what we're going to break. So currently, and this is really, I need to edit this a little bit, remove reference to myget and change terminology. Nope, I'll get there. Ology around NuGet and chocolatey. Right. So, within Cake.Recipe, we have this concept of... It's not even a concept. We assume that everyone is having a myget feed and a NuGet feed and a chocolatey feed. And depending on what you're building, you push everything that isn't a release to myget. So you have a single feed in myget that holds both the NuGet package and the chocolate packages. And then when you're ready to publish, you push your packages to NuGet.org and you push it to chocolate.org. Now, in today's world, the concept of pushing directly to NuGet.org as your final publishing destination, and also for chocolate as well, that's not necessarily the case, because you could be pushing to Azure Artifacts. You could be pushing to GitHub package repository. You could be pushing to insert another feed here. So calling the things within Cake.Recipe and coupling them directly to myget, NuGet, and chocolatey sort of isn't right, because they could be going somewhere else. And yeah, Kim's kind of laid it out in the chat there. In actuality, it is just an alternative NuGet feed. Absolutely. So where we reference things and call them by so let's have an example. Let's go into our tools folder here, go into what did that do? Oh, I built, so did it not pull down the... Isn't that hard-coded? Oh, it is. So that one's wrong. Okay, so Let's do this one more time while I remember then. So we're using 137, so I'm going to delete 137, and I'm going to copy all the files from my active Cake.Recipe, and I'm going to put them in here so that we can start hacking on this one. So within Cake.Recipe, if we have a look here and look in content and look in environment, right? So here we're saying my get API key and my get source URL and my get source user variable, all that sort of stuff. And we're calling this the new get API key and the chocolate API key. Those things are all wrong in the sense that they're potentially not my get, they're not new get, they're not chocolate. They could be going somewhere else. Why not symlinking them? Basically because I haven't set them up. I could do that. Maybe I should just do that. Yeah, okay. Can you remind me of the command that I need to run to do that? Because I never remember what the symlinking command is. So I would want it to be there. And I can never remember which way round to create it, which direction to create it from. Junction? No, is that create symlink? Never remember how to do it. Create a symlink on Windows. I'm checking. MK-Link. That's how I've done it before, isn't it? MK-Link? How to create MK-Link, Windows Administrator, MK-Link, link, and target. Okay, so if we do, let's see if this works. So I'm going to take, this is the name, copy, and I'm going to say, well, let's delete it. Let's do this, delete that. And I'm going to say MK-Link, the name, and it's going to go to here. Copy, paste. That didn't work. Why did MK-Link not work? Yeah, but the utility isn't. I think I've been down this road before. That it can do it in command prompt, but it can't do it in PowerShell. So let's do it this way. So cd c GitHub. cd c. Oh, hell, it's not works. cd GitHub. Random. GitHub organizations. Cake contrib. Cake.getter /tools. I don't remember either. MK-Link. I wanted that to be the destination, and the name. Oh, I've now just lost the name I was going to use. The name was this one. I feel we've started chasing a squirrel, but it's all good. I think this will help, because then at least means the files will all be in the same place. So either that's going to work or it's going to fail. So let's check, because I might need the D flag to do it. No, it did create a shortcut. So let's delete that. And let's do it again with the D flag that Kim mentioned. So /D. And let's see what that does. Oh, now we've got a folder. Look at that. Oh, look at that. So I think that worked. Did it work? Says it's a junction. Properties. New symlink, maybe. Shortcuts target is to recipe. Look, that did it. So in PowerShell land, we could have done new sim. No. What version of PowerShell is that from, Brett? I'm only on 5. I don't have 6. But we've got it. Right. So now, if I go into this one, it's here, and let's just test this out and do a Bob. Then over here, we've got a modified file. Right. So we're in a better position than we were before. Okay. In PS5 it is new item. Okay, cool. So this is a copy shortcut. So look. Let's see what we've got here. Windows 10 and PowerShell 5. Windows 10 and PowerShell 5 in general allows you to do create symlink. Yeah, the new commandlet. Path. Item type. I think I've seen that before as well. But it's one of those things I always have to look up. I never remember how to do that one, because I have to do it so rarely. Okay, so the suggestion that, or the suggestions regarding the naming of this was nightly source, rolling source. Matthias also came up with the concept of a production source. And I think, not sure what. Sorry, I'm just having a Slack conversation as well with Matthias, trying to get some information out of him. I like the idea of this production source, I think. So where I think we have currently NuGet, and so let's go and have a look at our environment. Currently where we have this one, I think what I want to write in there is production NuGet API key. So the intention is still, the concept is no longer NuGet as in NuGet.org, but it's production NuGet packages and where they're going to. So production NuGet is referring to, well, where are you hosting your production NuGet packages? Is that GitHub Artifacts? Is that Azure Artifacts? Is that GitHub Package Repository? Is it NuGet.org? But the production NuGet is kind of what I'm gunning for. So does that make sense? If not, suggestions as to something else. Kim saying what he's talking about currently is off topic. And yeah. But what do we think? Production NuGet and production chocolatey? And Brett's saying, I go just for NuGet with a name and reference them by name. Not sure I follow what you mean there, Brett. Can you expand on that a little bit? Or are you saying that NuGet and then you can register different feeds with a name property, maybe? Then you can register different feeds with a name. But we would still need to distinguish, I think, between a chocolatey package and a NuGet package. So I think I'm okay with the idea of a collection of feeds, that's fine. But I think we would still need to make a distinction between whether it's a NuGet package or a chocolatey package. Mainly because One requires a chocolate pack, and the other requires a NuGet pack. And assign weights like chocolate feeds. That's getting into the realm of not. Yeah, I got what he was referring to. No, I'm not dismissing what you're saying, Brett. I'm just trying to think about it in the context specifically of Cake.Recipe. So Cake.Recipe will build and create both NuGet packages and chocolate packages. The idea that you would want to push the generated packages to multiple sources, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to reason about how reasonable that is. I.e., would you want to push your released NuGet packages to multiple places, i.e., NuGet.org, Azure Artifacts, and Azure DevOps, and GitHub Package Repository? Or would you want it to only go to... The problem with being a collection, though, is you'd have to also have a collection of API keys and or username and passwords in order to push to multiple places. And Kim saying could happen. Release packages to GitHub packages, NuGet, Azure Art. Yeah, depends. So I'm not saying that we're not going to do it, but I think in this first iteration of refactoring, I'm going to say we're not. Because I don't want to do it just now. That's a really terrible reason for doing it. Mainly because it would require coupling of the I don't disagree with that, Kim. That's true. That does happen currently. But it's the way that Cake.Recipe works in terms of getting its credentials. Those credentials are coupled directly to environment variables specifically for those targets, i.e. one pre-release feed and a NuGet feed and a chocolate feed for production. I don't see how we would be able to easily extend the environment variable collection to put one set of credentials with one feed in a collection. I don't, unless we were to put that into the recipe.cake file and have it a free form environment variables. Okay, yeah. Yep. You could go to Greg's, or you could go to Thane's the bakers. You could go to lots of different bakers to get your cake. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take that work on just now, but instead I am going to But in terms of what I think this refactoring is still valid, though. The removal of MyGet and the explicit naming that it's the production NuGet API key and the production NuGet source variable. So I'm going to put this in here. And this is going to be the production chocolate API. And this is going to be the production chocolate source URL variable. Now, there's a few things that need to change in relation to that, because we introduced this concept of using a username and password for the myGet feed. Now, if we are choosing to use GitHub package repository as our production source, then we're also going to need a username and variable for the production NuGet API key for the production NuGet. So I'm going to put another thing in here called static string production NuGet user. User? Did I really call it user? I think I would prefer that to be username, but too late now. Get and private set. And then public static string production NuGet password variable. Get and private set. Okay. Now, the one outstanding question is, I think I'm going to want to call it pre-release. That's the terminology that I use. So in here, I want to call myGet as pre-release feed. Pre-release source. I'm going to go with feed, I think. No, I'm going to go with source. Pre-release source API key. Pre-release. That means it's pre-release source URL variable. I think we might just drop the source there on that one then. So this is going to become pre-release source URL variable, pre-release source user variable, and pre-release source password variable. So that means we've got 4 variables associated with pushing NuGet and or chocolate packages to one source, and then we have a break. So we have a production NuGet variables, and then we have a production chocolate variable. So we split for chocolate packages going one way, NuGet packages going another way. Now, you could argue that we would need a username and password variable for chocolate production source as well. However, I'm not going to do that because chocolate client in the minute doesn't support that. Now, Kim's just created something, so let's have a look over here. What has he created? So we've got a public enum of feed type. We've then got a class that is credentials, get environment variable name. I'm thinking. Let me make this bigger while I'm thinking, so that everybody can see it. If it's not, it's very close. We could look that up though. But where would you set this up though? You would have a method in your, and you'd have a build parameters method that is add package source data. Yeah. And that would allow you to create multiple of these within your recipe.cake file. Would we need a is release? I see what you're saying. So it's, yeah, and then we would just enumerate all of the package source data classes at the time of publishing and make a decision about whether it's going here or going there. Just a parameter and build parameters. Yep. See, I'm actually thinking, I see what you're saying. So if the environment variable exists, so if the essentially deprecated environment variables exist, which are myGet, NuGet, and Chocolatey, if they exist, add one of these things during the setup phase. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is going to take us down a rabbit hole. I don't dislike it. I'm not sure I like the name package data. That's the only thing. It's such a tiny thing, though. It really doesn't matter. So maybe deprecation was the wrong word, but what I'm getting at is that we might... Just adding reduction works, right? Naming is indeed hard, Kim. Yes, you're absolutely right. I haven't come up with a better solution yet, but package data doesn't make... I think we need the word source or feed in there. I like the distinction between the feed type, though. I like this. That allows potential expansion into other things. I like that. I like this. We need a bool in there, but that's fine. So, I like that too. I like the credentials. Now the credentials might need to handle... Oh. The credentials might need to handle the additional source or username or password and the API key. But again, that's something we could handle. Technostic people can define as many. Yeah, I do like that part of it. Oh, right, fine. Let's do it. Let's undo all the changes that I had made. Let's undo all of those things. Right. So, where are we going to put this? Let's have... consumption package data. I'm not sure I like that either. Consumption package data. Let's borrow it anyway. I'm going to steal it. Is this MIT, Kim? I don't see a license on this, but I'm going to steal it anyway. I'm assuming MIT. Could combine the chocolate and NuGet cake files into a single file. Yes, we probably could, because then we would know whether we're doing a chocolatey package push or a NuGet package push and pack respectively. We totally could do that. We could. Oh, it's a different. Oh, hold on. Let me see what this is. I'm not going to say that word because I don't say those words on my stream. But beautiful. Love it. Copy then. And then over here, let's create a new one. I'm going to create a new file called, don't like consumption, I'm sorry. I'm going to say package source data.cake. I can't type cake again. Let's paste this in here. And we're going to say, I totally can't type tonight. Package source data. Data credentials. Now I think we have a credentials class over here, but we had GitHub credentials. We have my get credentials. So I'm going to borrow this one. I'm going to cut this. Well, let's change this to be, let's keep that around. I'm going to create this as package source credentials. Copy that, paste that into there. I'm going to delete NuGet credentials because we're not going to need that. I'm going to delete chocolatey credentials because we're not going to need that. Oh, deleting code. Check me out. Then we're going to have a get method that we no longer need. So we're going to take that out. I'm going to take that out. Right. So this is going to be package source credentials. Probably no need for the source URL in the credentials. Not sure about the username and password. So that was over here. This one here, because we've got it over there. Push URL is more specific. I like that. So, okay, I agree. Now that we're doing it this way, fine. I agree. So, take that out. Not sure. So, username and password is because of the different way that you can push a NuGet package. So, a NuGet push allows you to specify a username and password at the command line instead of the API key. Now, Chocolatey doesn't have that, but that's fine. But NuGet does, so we are going to need to keep that. So we're going to have both an API key way of doing it and a username and password. Yeah, because if you look over here now, I modified this. Where's my push? Publish my get packages. So we either do NuGet source settings with username and password, or we do it with the API key, and we use the NuGet push using that. So it's either using that, or we either set it with the API key. And at the minute, there's a flag that says should publish to myget with API key. But we'll be able to change that now because it will be defined in the, I forgot the name of it, the package source data that we're away to create. Now, the reason I implemented that is because that's the way GitHub package repository works. And in order to test pushing of packages to there, I had to change Cake.Recipe to do that. So that's kind of where it comes from. but we'll be able to refactor this based on having those things there. So that's good. Right. So we've got the name, we've got a push URL, we have the type, which is the chocolate or nougat, and we have a package source credentials. Get environment variables will... It's just environment variable. Look, it's not get, it's just environment variable. So we can go back to here. Now this thing doesn't have a context. So the question becomes, we may pass that in as the constructor. So let's create, what's this formatting all about? Let's make it consistent. Put that in. That one is okay, so there's that one. Oops. Put that in. So here, is that going to work? Yeah. Come on. Package source data, and that's going to take as a input parameter the iCake context. I might have just made that up. I think it's the iCake context. Where's the thing I'm looking for? iCake context. Yes. I'll take that. We'll go here. Put this into here. And then private iCake context. Context equals context. And then here we're going to say the idea was more that you would pass the iCake context on the task when getting the source data items. So the idea was more that you would pass in the iCake context from the task. That's the only time you actually need the context itself. Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's not get credentials then. But for that to work, you need to return. Well, that's not strictly true. Because there are criteria that specify at the minute whether or not something can happen based on whether those variables, whether those environment variables, those credentials are available. So we would need to modify those criteria to not have that logic. So the task would always execute, but it's just, it may not actually push anything because the credentials aren't there. You could instead set it to a new property, forcing the usage of name in the constructor. I don't dislike this. I just think there's some additional refactoring that we need to do to accommodate it. So let's see where we get to. So the environment variable is that. Now we would need an additional one for return. That needs to change. So let's change that to that. And we would need to include the other one that we called, where was it? User and password. So we need to set those as well. User equals password equals. So I like this. I think that makes sense. And then this is going to be underscore user. And this is going to be underscore password. What's the null, by the way, that we're passing in there? Why were you passing a null, Kim? Name of two upper embedment plus. I don't think we need that null. Or was that for the default? Oh, was that assuming a default value? I think it returns null if it's not there. Package source data name credentials equals new. Six and 2 3s, really, isn't it? Got to have the caps lock on. So do we want get credentials, or do we want it to be... If we go down the second route that you've said there, we could at least then have a Boolean value here that says is valid, and that is valid could be on the presence of the credentials having either the API key, the user, or the password. So we could infer that. So if we go down that route, that would be that context string name as a constructor, and then public package source credentials is a get, and we can only set it using the constructor, so we'll do it there. And then name equals name, and then credentials equals new package source credentials with that. Remove the name of I agree. Name. Okay. But if we're going to go down this route, we should probably set them all then, should we not? So we should take in a feed type, because that will be a required parameter. I mean, we could default to something, but it's probably better to put them all in. push URL, push wall. And then, well, that's an intellectual debate as to whether that should be a URL or not, but let's leave it as a string for now. And then bool is release. And then type is release equals is release. Okay, so let's do that, and let's save that. So, that's broken a ton of stuff. Because if we now try and build Cake.Getter, that's going to be broken all over the shop. I'm in the wrong folder. So if we try building this, it's not even going to compile. It's going to be broken. Boom. So, package source data on line 11. Oh, I'm missing some semicolons. Beautiful. Let's fix that. I should really have bakery running so that we could see some of these errors within. Okay, so this is more into where I thought things were going to break. So, line 65 of here. Line 65. I mean, we can do that. So we could do similar to what we've done before. So we could say name push URL feed type equals feed type dot NuGet, and then we could say bool is release equals true. So they become optional parameters. That way, we only have to specify those. So we can set those up. So now in here on line, what did I say, 60 something? So we had the concept of my get credentials, NuGet credentials, and chocolate credentials. But then we'd have to, so we did it that way. I don't know which one I prefer actually. If we did it that way, then we would have to have an additional 2 lines to specify those if we wanted to set them, as opposed to just passing them in the constructor. We could have an overloaded constructor. Such an intellectual debate, Kim. Let's have an overloaded constructor. I haven't done one of those in a while. Let's do this. Let's do feed type. Oh no, hold on, that would be this one. Let's do this. So then we're going to call. We're just going to call this. Let's do this as context name push URL and feed type dot NuGet. And then let's do our format is off again. Let's do this. Copy. Nah. Paste. String. Feed type. Feed type. Feed type. And then we said is release is true. There we go. So you either accept the defaults or you. There we go. I think I'm okay with that. Right. So we're going to remove the my get credentials, new get credentials, and chocolate credentials because we don't have those anymore. Probably quicker just doing this again. Remember to remove the defaults from the last. Oh, what did I forget? Oh, good shout. Good shout, that man. And we should be consistent with what we've called them. So feed type. And I feel I need to go and change that name now. No. No. Feed type. Type. I want to change it. I want to call it feed type because I called it feed type over there. Let's leave it as feed type just now. That'll bug me. It might bug me later. Where do we get to? We're now here. That has chocolate.cake does not contain a definition for chocolatey. So this is gonna start a little it's gonna be a little it's gonna be a little waterfall of build errors. Currently we've got like 20, 30. It's going to cascade and create lots more. But let's carry on. Where do we get to? Line 42. Here. Build parameters chocolate API key. So really, this is where we need to start combining as Kim suggested, this is where we need to start combining the chocolate.cake, love it, and the NuGet.cake files so that it's into one, and then in there we just make a decision about whether we are pushing a chocolate package or whether we're pushing a NuGet package. Does for each, maybe. I hate having the property name as the same as the enum type name. Had a few times it's caused problems in the past. Yeah, it just felt a little bit wrong, but I don't disagree. With that. So, do we want to start breaking this? Was that yes? Do we want to start breaking this? So thinking about it, I mean, we could put what have we got? We've got packages.cake. What does that currently have? That has a bunch of stuff in it. Build packages. Oh, hold on. We already have an is chocolate package. So where's that used? Is chocolate package. Because we could probably remove some of these as well. Are we even using this thing? This is only available in this one place. Are we get packages? Okay, so we're not calling get packages. We're not calling build packages. This whole class is not currently being used. So could be exactly that. New build package is chocolate package. One of those two is definitely true. Okay, so packages.cake. Because what I was thinking about it was in removing chocolate.cake, although that's just a sad file name to lose. If we remove the chocolate.cake file and remove the NuGet.cake file, we should replace it with something. And the immediate one was packages.cake, which is currently being used. But if we were to reuse this one instead, so let's delete all that stuff. And let's take what we've got in chocolatey.cake and cut it. Oh, so sad. So let's remove the chocolatey.cake file, because there's nothing in it anymore. Delete. Yep. And then let's grab what we've got in the, can't see if we're looking, the NuGet.cake file. And we'll put this into here. Chocolate goes first, because it's first alphabetically. Right. Nothing to do with the fact that I work for Chocolatey. Okay, so we've now got a packages.cake file that has all the top level tasks. So we have a create chocolatey packages task, which we'll still need. We have a publish chocolatey packages task. Now, that is going to become not a publish chocolatey packages task. That's going to become just a publish packages task. Publish packages. We may have to use. We won't be able to put these as criteria necessarily anymore. We may have to put them into the task itself. Directory exists. So all of those criteria we may have to move into this function, into this task. .NET Core pack is still going to be, the pack is still going to be required. The create NuGet packages, which is the NuGet pack. So both of these things that's a NuGet pack as well. So let's pick this up. Should have gone the other way. We're doing it now. That's a .NET Core pack. So let's cut that out and we'll put this up here. And we're going to need a collection of sources. Quite a few things going through my head just now. Publish packages. We're going to need to borrow the content of that and the content of this and put that into a single method. So this one, I'm happy for that to go away because it doesn't contain anything really interesting. This one, we want to take this from here. I searched for build packages and I couldn't see it. Did I? Hold on. No, I'm not seeing it. Where are you seeing it? Build packages. Where are you seeing it, Kim? I'm looking on. I've just searched on GitHub for it as well. I can only see it in the packages.cake file. Have you got a link? Alright, okay. I will update if I find it. Okay, cool. So I was away to cut this out of here, and I was going to stick it into here just now, and then I'm just going to remove this task because I was gonna check. I was gonna check something. Okay. So I was gonna say var chocolatey packages is equal to something, and var nougat packages is equal to something. And then I was gonna say for each var chocolatey package, in chocolatey packages do stuff, and then for each var nougat package in nougat packages do stuff. Hi, Veronique. I thought you were a C# person. Or are you only PowerShell? I'm curious. So don't take any of the code that I'm writing here as proper C#. This is very much off the cuff. So what we want to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this around here. I'm going to tab over. And we're going to say that. And then, oh no, hold on. Can publish the chocolate, yes. Oh, but that's, no. That's a wrong check now. See, you've got to be careful with that, Kim. I've tried that argument with Paul, my work colleague Paul, because I tend to do C# in PowerShell, and I'm told in no uncertain terms that I shouldn't. I should do it the PowerShell way. And yeah, I get told off for doing it. Because I'll be instantiating an HTTP client and all this sorts of stuff, and he's just like, you're just doing invoke web request or whatever. I'll just do an HTTP client. Yeah, to an extent it does. So this is not can publish the chocolatey, because that will be inferred from the credentials. So this one is actually should run chocolatey and build parameters dot is running on Windows and build parameters dot should publish chocolatey. So that's the three criteria there. That's so that point is well made, Kim. Yes, and I would argue I would argue that too. Hello, Netley. How are you? So this original task was only going to be done if there were chocolatey packages. Oh, you see, this is not packages. I'm doing this wrong. This is chocolatey sources, not packages. So this is chocolatey sources, and this is NuGet sources. For each chocolatey source, in chocolatey sources. And then for each NuGet source, in NuGet sources. Then we're going to do stuff. Then I still want this criteria as well then. So I'm going to take this out. And I'm going to put this over here. That's that. So that means all of these criteria go away. Right? So then if we're doing all those things, then we're going to enumerate through all the chocolate sources and we're going to do some stuff. And then we need something similar for the I want the criteria from the other one that I've just deleted. So if we go over here and have a look at this one, then what was the criteria on the push? It was basically this one. No, that's the package. Where's the push? The NuGet push is Netley saying, I'm good. I've been doing some C++ recently, learning new things and such. Learn something new every day. Kim just said earlier that he learned something new. There we go. So yeah, it's what keeps us on our toes, right? So this should publish NuGet. Ooh. A new hat. Is it as nice as your last hat, Stevie? So should publish NuGet. Oh, now. I need you to send me a photo now. Should publish NuGet. Should publish NuGet. Those may have to come out. This one will be there. I'm going to borrow that. I'm going to go over here again. And I'm going to say, there's a big if statement around this. So if that then we do some stuff. So then we're going to do this. So we're going to borrow this, and we're going to put this into here. Then it's for every chocolatey source and chocolatey sources. I am going to that's still technically correct. Nutcake file for every nutcake file. Push the package. Nutcake file with those things. That format is going to annoy me. So this is no longer this. This will be chocolate source dot. That will come up. So it's package source data is just the it's the credentials. So then we would need to get the credentials dot API key. Yeah, okay. And then it's that dot push URL. Okay. So I think the only test you can do for a condition would be if the collection is not empty. So we're already checking to see that the directory exists. So we know that if that's true, then there will be some things in here. So this is always going to be something in it. The only thing that may fail here, and we should check, is whether that API key is actually something. And that's why I was thinking over here we might have a is credentials valid, and then either that's true, either if this is there or this is true. But we'll come back to that one, I think. I'm talking about the condition before it goes, it does lambda. Oh, I see what you're saying. For the NuGet sources, or for the chocolatey sources, or for any sources. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, possibly. Yeah, we can do that. So then we've done that one. Then what we need to do is Stevie, are you still on? If so, can you ping a deal and tell him I can't respond to him on Slack at the minute? Because he's just pinged me on Slack. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to delete this one. So then what we've got is for each NuGet source in there, we're going to grab that, and we're going to put this into here. See, this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm not going to have that anymore. So I'm going to remove it. Should publish to my get with API key. I need to remove that. And then we will say Let's see. So let's. I'm debating here about interesting, Kim. I'm not sure. It got cut over at some point. I remember it was Mateus that created it originally, and it could have been refactored out during the. So originally, Cake.Recipe came from one other. There was one project that I had that kind of had all the bits of Cake.Recipe, so it was possibly in there, and then when it got pulled over at Cake.Recipe, it got broken, and it didn't get deleted properly. So I'm going to say that if NuGet source dot API key is not equal to string dot empty. No, that's wrong. If not string dot is null or empty on NuGet API key, then we're going to do this stuff, which is NuGet source dot credentials. I'm going to go back and change that. Dot API key. Credentials dot API key. This needs to be credentials here as well. Otherwise, you've got source dot credentials dot user dot password. You get source dot push URL, and then for every nutcag in there, we're going to push it, and then nutcag files. Oh, that was the original myget one. So now we're saying that if we want to be honest, I don't see. Well, let me come back because I think I'm valid. I think I've got a reason for that, but I will come back to it in a sec. So here we were saying that packages would always go to both myget and there. So in order for this to work, we're going to need to duplicate. We're going to need to duplicate the source for Chocolatey. That's okay though, I think. So the thought process was, Kim, that I'll come back to your question, Veronique, in a sec. So the thought process here, Kim, was to take the collection that we're going to create and filter that via link expression to get here's the Chocolatey packages using the feed type, and here's the NuGet packages via the feed type, right? So that was there, and then depending on the original criteria for the task, i.e., we would only run chocolatey when we would only do the chocolatey push if we're on Windows and we can run chocolatey, and otherwise only if there's NuGet packages or only if there's chocolatey packages. So that was the thought process behind the. So they're not separate for each loops. Well, they kind of are, but they're only for each loops for chocolatey, and then to then do a chocolatey push, and then for each loop of the NuGet packages. But what you're saying is, well, it's that top criteria to know whether it's possible. So rather than repeat this check for each loop, have that in the outer loop so that it would never get in there for any of them if it can't do the chocolatey push. That makes sense? So, Veronique's question, is this your own project or is it for work? It's my own project, some of which might happen to be used for work, but predominantly it's my own project that is used for the cake community. And Brett, is this the rabbit hole I've returned to? Indeed, we are so far down the rabbit hole. I've lost sight of light now. I don't see any way out so far. Could also create a dynamic link query using skip while. We could do that. We could. I tend to like my link expressions like I like my toast. Simple with a bit of butter. I don't like overcomplicating link expressions because I think it becomes hard to reason about. I love that analogy. I'm going to use that again. I just made that up on the fly. I love it. So, no, I don't like burnt toast. I do like the burnt toast PowerShell module, but I don't like burnt toast a la morning. No. So, I think I'm okay with that, Kim. I think I'm okay with the inner for each loops at the minute. So I am. No, am I complicating? I maybe am complicating a little bit, but I think I'm okay with that just now. Now, what I have figured out though is that so previously when we did the myGet push, we did myGet for both chocolatey and for NuGet packages. In order for that to work going forward, we're going to need to duplicate the package source data. We're going to create two entries, one for the chocolatey feed and one for the NuGet feed. But I think that's okay. But what we will need to do here is, so we need to create parameters of cake. So up here, we need to create a but only if correct, yes. So up here, we're going to create a public static. What's your poison? I'm going to list package source data package sources, and that's going to be a get with a private set. Okay, so then we're going to want to allow the overriding of that. Could use concurrent bag for eventual. That's an optimization for later, I think. It'd be good just to get this working again, because this is so broken. So in the set parameters method, we're going to want to allow for those sources. So if I scroll too far, Set parameters. Should publish my get. Should publish chocolatey. I think we want to. I think we want to remove all of those. They should run chocolatey, maybe not. I think that one needs to come out, and those ones need to come out. No, I did that wrong. This one, and those ones. And we're going to add a new one at the bottom here. That one needs to come out. I've decided that one. So we're going to do a list of package source data, which is package sources equals null. So that will allow the setting of the package sources from external. I don't know, Kim. Let me write a note. Deprecate. Can I do that? An optional parameter. I'm assuming you can deprecate an optional parameter. Deprecate parameters to set parameters. I like your thinking, Brett. I do. But we're down this rabbit hole now. We can't. There's no turning back now. There's no turning back. List package. We have got 26 minutes left. List package source data. Package sources equals null. Okay. How are we going to do this? So there, where I remove the credentials, that was an internal API. So that part is fine. So we're going to say, let's have a little look and see. This method is huge. Let's go to the bottom here. And we'll say if package sources equals package sources. Beautiful. Else package sources equals new list of package source data. And then this is where we this is where we check the environment variables that previously were used. So in there, we're going to want to check for rows and credentials. So in here, we are going to want to look at these. Where's the get credentials? Down here. So we're going to want to check this thing. Copy. If that if not string dot is null or empty, that guy, then var package source equals new package source data, and that needs a context, which I believe we passed in here as just context. Let's not even think about that. Context, and we said that the next parameter was name. So this name, oh no, hold on. This is not going to work. Okay. Not in the way we've currently got it. Okay, essentially what we just said is that we want to create a new package source and specify the credentials, but we don't have an overload. We would need another overload that allows the passing in of the credentials. Wouldn't we? Yes, we would. Rabbit hole, rabbit hole, rabbit hole. Because in the scenario for backwards compatibility, where those environment variables exist, we want to specify them and we don't want to look them up again. Didn't you set the... Oh, it's a private set. But this doesn't currently match. That's what I'm getting at. When it looks it up, it's not called just API key. Well, let's see what they're actually called. They are called... Oh no, they are. Hold on. Okay. So it was just myGet API key and myGet source. Okay. I could see that working. So it was just... Okay, hold on. So myGet API key, myGet. Okay. No. Okay. I see how that works. Okay. Yeah. myGet user, myGet password. MyGet user, MyGet password. Okay, that work. Okay, I can see how that works. So we would set the name to be just MyGet. Okay. So where did we go? We were in parameters.cake. So the name here is MyGet. So the name is MyGet, and the second parameter is the push URL, which is just this thing. So we should probably cut that out of there. Say var MyGet URL is equal to that. MyGet URL. So MyGet becomes MyGet URL, and this is feed type dot NuGet. Then we're going to copy that. Nope. We are going to do. We're going to say package sources dot add new package source data there. Beautiful. Copy that, and I'm going to put that in here. That's chocolate. NuGet was the default. That's true. So we just use that one, and then we override it as chocolatey on that one. Then we have the equivalent for the NuGet source. So we want to copy that. We're going to put this in here, and we're going to put this in here. Then one part done on that side. So this here is now going to be the NuGet URL. And this here is going to be the NuGet source URL variable. I'm going to assume that that's called the same. NuGet source URL variable. Beautiful. Okay. Then this becomes NuGet. This doesn't want that. NuGet URL. NuGet URL. NuGet URL. Then this here is chocolate. This here is chocolate. Can't spell chocolate. Copy, copy, delete. Let me do what I was trying to type there. This is a horrendous breaking change. This is probably one of the biggest breaking changes that I've made. Let's do a note here that says, try to get the deprecated way of doing things and allow and set them as default sources. Okay, so let's see how badly broken it is. Broken. Got 14 minutes left. And we have invalid expression term. So this is something I've broken. This is a new change. So package is on here. This thing here. So chocolatey sources. Oh, we haven't got so this is now going to be build parameters. Build parameters dot package sources dot na p dot what's it called? Feed type type equals feed type dot, which one am I on? Chocolate. Sorry, you're right. Where? Nope, sorry, you're right. See, that's why I invite you. That's why I invite you all onto the show. To keep me honest. Parameters dot package sources dot where p dot type equals feed type dot NuGet group by, and that would give us two thing true. We could do that. So, you guys, PowerShell folks, you probably don't. Yeah, you don't really. Do you use LINQ? Do you? You don't have the concept of LINQ. So, language integrated queries within PowerShell. So essentially, what we're doing here is we're saying this package sources thing that we've just created. I want to filter essentially those package sources to only give me the ones that are of type chocolatey. So every package source data has a type property. And then when we were creating those, so over here where we said new package source data, we specified what the feed type was. So it's either NuGet or it's chocolatey. So in here, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get me all of the chocolatey ones, and I'm going to get all the NuGet ones, and that will allow filtering. So it's not particularly common. Okay, so you can do it. So this is the syntax. So I'm essentially saying, give me from those package sources, use a LINQ expression, which is a where, to then give me all of the chocolatey package sources, and then give me all of the NuGet package sources. And yeah, there's the PowerShell equivalent that. Well, not the equivalent. It's not quite the equivalent. But it's because you're piping that, you can filter based on that. So it's very similar. So that should get us rid of some of the error messages. It can be incredibly useful, Veronique, but it's a LINQ expression has got the you can have like a multi-nested LINQ expression, and you can create new objects contained within it. So it's like when you pipe something to something to something to something, it can become bloated and become really difficult to reason about. A LINQ expression can do the exact same thing. So where are we at now? We've still got errors. 152. Did I miss a closing? I did, so that's valid. So if we could get to a point at the end of this 10 minutes where I don't have any red text, that would be good. That's kind of what I'm gunning for now. 169, we're missing a bracket. Oh, that'll be the equivalent, which is here. So these are just syntax errors at this point. So let's see if we can get grid. Good luck. That fills me with confidence, Kim. It does. 179. Oh, I missed brackets all over the place. 179. Oh, look, there's another one there. 179. Then we're into parameters.cake. 615 on parameters.cake. 615. Oh, look, blatant. They're all over the shop. Fine. Did I ask what we were? Did I ask what we were breaking at the start? I don't think you did. I was gung ho about it. I just went straight in. We're trying to make things better. All of this started because I didn't like the word myget being in my source code, and it's kind of ballooned out into God knows what. 617. I thought we just fixed that one. 617. Oh man, closing brackets all over the place are not there. New package source, need another one. And we'll need another one at the bottom here. Okay. Doesn't seem to be getting smaller. Packages. Build tasks does not contain a definition for publish. That's true, it won't, because I removed it. So publish. Where's my publish ones? Publish myget packages doesn't have that, it's just packages now, so we could take that one out. Build. That'll probably break some other stuff. Maybes. What did I? Publish chocolate packages. Publish chocolate. Which one did I delete there? Oh no, you're right enough. Let's take that one out. The name NuGet source. Well, that's just wrong. NuGet source. NuGet source. Did I get it? I think I got it. I did. Okay. We're getting close. 6 minutes left. Non-invocable member package. I forgot a new, didn't I? Seriously. That's just amateur hour. Nope. Non-invocable package source data cannot be used like a method. What line is this? 17. Oh, hold on. On which one? Package source data. Oh. No. No. It's not a return. What am I doing wrong there? Non-invocable member package source data cannot be used like a method. What am I doing wrong there? I'm having a major brain outage. So, context, string, name, push URL, Jericho is saying something that. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. No, I think we need this. I think I would have been staring at that all night and then not clicked what was going on. Thank you, Jericho. Appreciate it. Don't forget brackets. What did I forget this time? Oh, there's a semicolon there too. It's not work. I think you're right. Yes, we're both right. Because that would give an opportunity to actually do something. So let's do that. Two minutes. We're not going to get this done. I might have to run over a little bit. We're getting to parameters.cake. Build parameters does not contain the definition for chocolatey. Parameters 210. Parameters. Here. 210. Can publish chocolatey. Can publish chocolatey. So no, we don't need that one anymore. Can publish my get. Same reasoning. Same reasoning for those ones. Are you saying nope that I... Oh, I see, okay. Beautiful. So that will probably generate some other errors because where those things are used, we might need to put them back. Oh, no, maybe not. The name feed type does not exist in the current context. Package source data dot 29. Package source data 29. Feed type. Oh, it's a capital letter. Feed type. Beautiful. Package source data. The property index or package source credentials dot API key cannot be used in this context on line 34. Line 34. New package source credentials. Let me see if that's still there. Property index or private set. Oh, did we? I bet we did. I bet it is exactly that. Good shout. That's a plus for Kim there in the chat. So one of two things need to happen there. So we either need to... Do we want to leave it as a private set and just add it as a so we could either do it as a constructor, so we could just pass them in rather than setting them, or we could change it to private set, non-private set. I kind of don't want it to be set, so I'm going to change this to be a constructor. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say that. So API key user password, API key user password, and that wants to be that. I think. Oh, we're 1 minute over. So close. Maybe. Oh, look at this. Single page of errors now. The range variable package sources conflicts with a previous declaration. Parameters.cake 464. Parameters.cake 464. Would allow users to change their credentials if they want without changing the environment variable. They weren't able to do that before, though. So, I like your thinking, but yeah, no, not right now. Oh, really? Package sources. Oh, we have... that's a fair point. Yeah. That's why I know about that one as well. So this is... But at the minute, we're not even allowing that. So we've removed that ability to change that. Allow setting credentials for sources. So where did I declare? Oh, it's the lowercase package sources that's causing problems. It's there. From package sources. From... Can I change that to... Is that one type? So I don't want to change that one necessarily. I want to... Hello, Eva? Welcome along to the stream. Package sources. What do we want to change that to? Package source datas. Naming is so hard. Package source datas. Package source datas. Right, I think that will fix that error. 4 minutes over. Get close. Parameters 511. 511. So that, and that are all going to disappear. So now, if we do a search here for myget, that's the one. There's still lots of mygets in here. That's get credentials are all going to go away. Can it implicitly convert type list to bool? Where are we doing that? 571. That sounds like something that Kim warned me about earlier. If package source data's equals no. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Oh, yep. Oh, Oh, so close. Publish my get packages. Continuous integration. Push out the changes to a new branch somewhere. I can take a look at everything when I get the time. See what I can do. I think so. I'm gonna yes, but let's do at least this. Publish my get packages. Hold that thought, Jericho. Maybe publish packages. Publish new get packages. Thought that you had there, Jericho, was on here. If packages equals null, oh, sorry, yes. If it's not equal to null, then set it equal to something. Do I care about the .any? I don't think it'll harm any. Sure. And package source date as .any. Well, the NA would be yes. So I think we're there. Published chocolatey packages. I thought I got rid of that one, didn't I? No, that's not work, is it? Publish chocolate packages. Oh, there we go. Publish. Oh, I was meant to fix it. That there. Oh, hold on. Let me come back to you guys just in a second. So, sorry. We were. That's a lot of. Sure. If. Oh, I can't take that. Package source datas null coalescing operator dot any. Right, happy? Oh, Jericho's not happy. But the default value of a bool is false. So if package sources is null, then I think that would work, wouldn't it? Currently, we're returning. Right. I see. I'm with you now. Gotcha. Exactly. Continuous integration already have a dependency on published packages. Why have we already got a dependency on published packages? Because it's dependent on published packages there, and we also did it here. Now we did it there previously. Was that an omission then? for it to be in there then. Continuous integration. See if we get this to build. It's building. Just doing a .NET Core build. Just running in spec code. No idea, Ken. I mean, it seems to be doing the right thing. I mean, it's run .NET Core build. It's running in spec code. That number looks familiar. So 201 in spec code errors or issues. It's installing OpenCover. It's going to run some unit tests. It built. Ship it. Ship it. Yeah. So I think what we need to do here is we need to do a git checkout -b, and it's going to be a feature called something. Nope. Feature called 447 from the develop branch. See, it's not under the fingers yet. It's not there. I need to learn. I need to force myself to do it. Keep reminding me though. I will eventually. I'm on the wrong branch even though it's not even this one. Git checkout. Develop. Git branch. Feature. It's on the wrong one. Branch that I want to do on is here. So git switch -c feature GH447. Oh, we forgot 447 from the develop branch. Okay. So then let's have a quick meander at changes and see if they make sense. So here, close these out. So what do? We changed some dependencies, deleted chocolate.cake because chocolate.cake and nougat.cake got merged into packages.cake. We changed a bunch of stuff in credentials because we no longer have the concept of myget credentials and nougat credentials and chocolate credentials. And we removed the helper methods. All of those are internal API changes, so we shouldn't break anybody doing that. We combined nougat chocolate.cake and nougat.cake into here using the new concept of package source datas. We created that one, which was the new class that had overloads for different constructors. We then deleted, or we added a bunch of stuff. I think there's more things we need to delete from here though, but these are encroaching on the public API, so we might need to deprecate a few things. And then task was just a renaming of the task. So this is GH447. First stab at refactoring. Let's commit that and git push origin. That won't work because of git. Let's do that. And let's go over here and compare and pull request. And then I'm going to request one from Jericho. Why did you not come up, Kim? I'm going to put you in there as well because you're here on the stream. Create pull request. Still lots of work to do here, but this is a starter. Let's put, where's my draft? How do I do that? It's here, isn't it? Create a draft pull request. Look at that. Let's put that in there. Okay. Not sure. I don't have any code owners or anything like that, so maybe that's part of it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, but that's that part done. So I think for now, then that's me done for the evening. I think. Brett's no longer on the stream, I don't think. But yeah, this is a little rabbit hole that we went down, and yeah, that was probably more work than I expected to do. But in general, I think it's a better approach overall. So, but as Kim pointed out, we won't really know if it's working until we actually try to push it and try to run it. So we might just have to bite the bullet and see what it does. But yeah, overall I like the approach. And yes, as you say, thanks to Brett for suggesting it. So now we have the concept of having multiple sources available for pushing chocolate packages to and nougat packages to, and we do that on. Hold on. Why am I? I'm still debating. Oh, we didn't do something. We have the concept, but we didn't set it. We didn't set this as pre-release. And we need to do that. Make use of is release property. Because at the minute, we are only pushing. Yeah. We've lost some functionality so far. So the whole concept of is it on the master branch and is it tagged? We're not currently using that. Maybe. But regardless of whether it's a bool or it's a tuple or an enum, we've lost some functionality because we're not currently looking at. That was the should push. So let's go back to here. Look at the changes that we made. Should button should publish chocolate. Yeah. This parameter here should publish chocolate. I think that's what we've lost. Should publish chocolate. That's not going to work. I need to take those off. Yeah, we've lost all of this. And that was used previously here. No. Yeah, there's still some work that needs to be done there. I need to sit and think about when that should happen. Because we want to push the chocolate packages to the pre-release feed, and we also want to push packages to chocolate when it's going to need to think about that one. But for now, pull request open. So Kim, if you get a chance, you can have a review of that. That would be appreciated. We need to come back and finish this work, and the other thing I wanted to check. So there shouldn't be many MyGet. Oh, what happened there? I think I didn't necessarily need to do that. So there is still some references to MyGet in the source code, but that's okay because we've decided that we're going to leave those in for now. So we haven't removed everything that is MyGet, but we've removed it from the main public API surface. So I think that's kind of what I was getting to. That one needs to come out still. So there's some refactoring there. And then this, yeah, okay, so we'll come back to that. Okay, so for now, I'm done. To the best of my knowledge, stream will be happening on Friday, so I'll probably come back and look at this again. And I think that's all I have. So thank you for all the help tonight. I appreciate it as always. And I will be back streaming Friday, if not Monday. Keep an eye out on Twitter, on my Twitter handle for when I will be there. And thanks for coming along, Veronique. Appreciate your coming along. Thank you for the extra work. More work to be done. Right. Take care, everyone. I will talk to you all later.